first track, which I'll let them introduce themselves just now.
Hey, my name is Eleni C, and this is my single, I Don't Give a Damn.
And it's kinda crazy that life is not for me. My friends try to tell me, but I don't give a damn. Yeah, it's kinda crazy that life is not for me, for me, for me. But I don't give a damn. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes, living life with my foot off the brakes. Yeah, I gotta make my own mistakes, 'cause I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. One step at a time, I walk on the wild side. One step at a time, yeah, walking on the wild.
Oh, I didn't want it to end.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What a dance tune.
Yeah, proper like EDM, dancey.
I've literally
Yeah,
had this song
love
stuck
that.
in my head all week, and it's awesome. And some things about her. So, as she said, her name is Eleni C. She's awesome. She's from London town. Represent
She's from London.
London town. She's awesome. She's incredible. She's played with some incredible British music that's known worldwide, like Alicia Dixon, Foxes, Fleur East, Little Boots, Becky Hill.
Becky
She's
Hill,
played a
yeah,
ton of music festivals in the UK. She's really on the rise, and she's
Smashing it.
from London. So
So
I
that's,
love
yeah.
that even more. And
So this
we've
one, obviously, your bias this week, eh?
This is my bias. This is my
your
bias.
week, Tom.
she's awesome, and she's just worked with us as well on a story behind the music. So definitely head up and check out the channel. She talks a little bit about the story behind this song.
Cool.
But like I said, like the melodies in this are crazy good, and literally been stuck in my head all week. So hats off, Eleni. You've done a fantastic job. I especially love the harmony. She's layered these really nice harmonies underneath the main vocal, and then it kind of grabs you in just before that chorus hits, because the producers tuned down her vocals, and after the chorus they've tuned them back up.
Yeah, I love
So it's
that.
a really cool little effect there. I just love the production as well on the vocal. It really kind of brings out Eleni's natural timbre and just the natural projection of her voice just so nicely. Everything's kind of done, in my opinion, on the vocal just perfectly, especially to the kind of the genre of music it is. And then obviously the I Don't Give a Damn hook is just,
Yeah.
like, it's just in there for all to enjoy.
Yeah.
She's done a really nice job, because you're going to go away from that. There's no question what the title of the song is. Like, it's just like,
That's for sure. Aye.
everything you need though is there. Like, you're not going to forget it, and that's
Nah.
very clever songwriting.
Yeah.
I just love the whole feel of the track. It's very kind of like Ibiza, grab
Yeah.
a beer, like the kind of the,
Tropical.
again, like the Spanishy kind of lead line,
Yeah.
and the kind of the cool acoustic guitar there. It just makes you, want to. It makes me anyway want to grab a whiskey and coke. I'm a whiskey man. Whiskey and coke and a dance floor, and just kind of stand there on a beach somewhere in Spain or Greece or whatever. I just love the feel of it. And the lyrics are really powerful lyrics. I know Andy's a lyric man. I won't take too much away from him. But it just delivers a great message for the listener. And, Eleni, as I said, she's just lovely. She's not only a songwriter, she's a mental health advocate. So these kind of lyrics really kind of portray everything that she's about. Just a lovely person, great songwriter, and I think she's got a really bright future.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like every week, we want to kind of speak a little bit about something that we would add or change if we were the producer or in the songwriting session. And the only thing I have written down is from a production point of view. It's just the guitar pick sound is not something that I particularly like. Again, it's subjective. It's just my personal taste. But I would have just thrown an EQ on there, right around the 10K, 8 to 10K range. Just ducked out a little bit just to get rid of the guitar pick sound. But other than that, I just think it's great. I think the songwriting is awesome. I think the production is awesome. The music video is great. Seems like a really lively, bouncy character, and it's everything that she promotes in this song. So
Love it.
yeah, I'm just a big fan.
So is it like for the guitar? Is it like the clickiness of like the pick against the strings?
Yeah, that's all it is. And
Yeah.
you know, it just every single microphone picks it up. And it's just a taste, and it's just my personal taste. I would have just ducked that out a little bit, but it definitely still works. You would never notice it. I had to listen to the song a few times to pick something out, but I think it's a great song.
Well, this is what I love as well. Like, I'll pick up stuff and you'll not pick up on it, and vice versa, you know, because I didn't pick up on that. But yeah, like, I'll listen back now and give that a listen, and that's what I like about us, like, challenging ourselves to dissect these songs a wee bit. You know, we both have different mindsets as well, so we can add different spins on it.
Exactly.
I think, for me, really commercial sounding vocal, and it's really polished. The vocal production, I completely agree with you, is stunning. It's radio chart ready for me, and lots of shine, lots of air in that vocal, everything that you'd expect from a commercial female vocal, especially in her genre. I love that I don't give a damn kind of four-manted vocals. I love that, you know, when you kind of pitch shift form into it, and it's got that really distinct kind of tone to it that's different from, I mean, it's her vocals, they're just kind of changed, and I love that.
It adds really nice suspense as well just before the chorus hits.
Totally. So, like, I've written that down as well, so I love how it's like, it's the hook for me. That's the takeaway when you leave the song, is you remember that I don't give a damn, and that's the kind of, that's the hook. But I love when that bit kicks in just before the chorus smashes. They've got this like like kind of drum fill, and I love that. Like, I'm a big fan of drum fills in general, and sometimes I think production wise a lot of people get it wrong because they go for, I don't know, the wrong sounds, or sometimes it's just not right. This one really worked for me, and I really kind of took to it, and it really kind of, we've had songs on the show in our previous episodes where there's like just space before it drops in. But what's really cool is when you put a drum fill in, it fills that space, but it still like builds you up to that big kind of smash of sound.
100%.
And I really, really loved that. Drum rhythm in general, I thought, because it's obviously an EDM kind of pop song, you know, you could get shuffle dancers kind of shuffling to this, that kind of kick rhythm. And,
definitely.
And I loved, there's a very subtle decision that they made in the verse where they opened up, they did like frequency filtering, where they had like a, I don't know, high pass filter, and they just opened it up slowly in the verse on that kind of drum build, which again emphasised that build even more. So loved that. And I love the kick, because the kick's really important in this kind of track, where you've got to have that real booming presence. And there's a particular sound that I think people and listeners expect when they listen to this kind of genre of track. And the sample, instantly I was like in love with that. So don't know what the sample is. Of course, all samples are, you know, unique to some extent, but it had a lovely clean presence, but like a really nice bass kind of boom as well, and thump in the low end. And I love that. So yeah, those are my kind of overall things that I loved about it. For me, difficult as always to try and critique this kind of thing. I think for me, I didn't connect as much with the chorus kind of melody in the vocal as I did with the verse. I don't know why. I can't necessarily put like my finger on it, but I just thought that the phrasing, and maybe it was the way it kind of da 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 da, like I maybe prefer it to be with that kind of beat and that kind of EDM vibe, maybe a bit more kind of plosive rather than the kind of smoother of the vocal. But I mean, I am going super critical here, and it's still a really good chorus. So I'm just literally thinking, what would I have changed? It would be maybe to make that, instead of a smooth kind of rolling melody, more of a plosive kind of sassy in your face kind of punchy melody. But to be honest, that's all I have. There's nothing really that I've been able to dissect apart from that, and that is a personal choice. So for me, a great song. Clearly, loads of people are gonna take that like a duck to water because it's got that real fresh, catchy vibe. And yeah, I agree. I think she's got obviously she's got some success behind her already, but with that kind of material and that kind of relatability in our work, it's only going to grow. So yeah, great.
Yeah, and every single one of her songs are this kind of level. So it's and I have to say that I really love the chorus melody. I really love the like live it. She like really emphasized the word life, and I like it when artists do that, like living life with good.
You know what? I was going to mention this because when we were listening to it just there, I thought to myself, I've got to mention like the way she does that kind of thing when she sings like the kind of like it's so subtle. I think what do they call it? Like it's like a raspiness or something, but she just uses it to emphasize her words, and she does it so cool on her track.
Yeah, I thought the melody was great with it. Yeah,
yeah. So
I just think she smashed this one out of the park. You know, just.
Yeah, totally.
I loved it.
Totally. So well done. Thank you so much for sending that in. And we massively look forward to hearing more of your stuff.
Definitely.
Next up, we have a submission all the way from, so we've just came from London. We're flying all the way across the Atlantic to Nashville. And here is April Cry.
Hi, this is April Cry. You're listening to the Songwriters Lounge podcast, and this is my new single, Watered Down.
Looking back at mistakes, it's never easy, but turning the page sets my soul free, and I'm finding the faith in me. It took a while to see that you were holding me back. I'm done being watered down, chasing a hollow ground. I swallow my pride, and I lose inside of who I am right now. Try to wash me out.
Wow.
Amazing.
All I could think is just wow. It's this is why I love doing this podcast. Finding artists like April and hearing songs like this. I mean, it literally blew me away when that first chorus came in. Like, the songwriting, the performance of the vocal, the production, it's literally world class in my opinion.
Yeah.
World class. Yeah. And just a little bit about April as well, because she's great. And as you can tell by the clip, she's an extremely talented songwriter, a musician, singer, and so much in fact that she actually trended at #1 on Radio Disney and broke into the top 30 on the highway with her first single, I believe it was. And yeah, this one's doing just as well. She's literally accumulated like millions and millions of views and streams.
Class, deserved.
This is the one I like. She's performed with Enya as a backing vocalist for Enya. That is cool, man. I respect that.
I think it's cool that Radio Disney is a thing.
Radio Disney, yeah.
I didn't know.
Hell yeah.
Is it big in the States, or is this like
it's pretty big here, man.
See, that's big here. Yeah, that's big, yeah.
She's also written songs with songwriters that have had multiple #1 songs, like in the country scene, which is amazing. But you know, I can't even praise this song highly enough. It's right up my street, and it's something that it's the kind of music I just enjoy listening to. It's kind of got that bluesy feel. Yeah, just brightened up with the vocal performance. And when that choir came in, I literally, like, my whole body was like going crazy. If this really helps like express the emotion of the lyrics, because if you listen again, I hate taking the lyrics away from you, man. You're the lyric man, but the lyrics are so emotional, and
They sure are.
it's just topped by an incredible vocal performance from April, and then the choir underneath just adds the richness and the depth and the emotion that you this song needed, and they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
She brings vocal power exactly when she needs to, and she brings it back soft when she needs to. Just again, like I can't express how much I admire the vocal performance and the thought that's gone into the songwriting and the melody.
Yeah.
I just really respect and admire that, because they've pulled back and they've given you everything when they need to.
Yeah.
The story and the lyrics is heartbreaking, but also incredible and really inspiring and extremely cleverly written. I love the electric guitar tone in the background. That the drums are really nicely shaped and kind of supporting her and everything. Because this song is all about the vocal, all about the vocal, and everything shapes around the vocal so nicely. And this is one song that you get them every now and then. Once in a blue moon, you hear a song and you're lost for words because of how good you find it. And this was one of them for me. I can't speak highly enough. And with every song we try and add something and talk a little about something that we may have added if we were in the songwriting session or the control room. But this may be a first for me, because I listened to it so many times and I couldn't find anything that I would have added or taken back. If I was being like hyper critical, maybe I'd have brought the snare down a dB.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just like, if I had to find one thing, that's it. It still doesn't affect anything. I think the beauty of songs like this is that I've listened to this song and learned something new every time I listen to it in terms of songwriting and production. And that's why I like songs like this. You can tell it's been produced by a top level producer, and listen to it. You hear tips and tricks of your own. He's compressed things nicely, and they've taken back where they need to, and then I just think they've done an amazing job. And I just think it's a stunning song, and the co-writers and producers and April herself just
Smashed.
Awesome. Honestly,
Smashed.
It's beautiful.
The day I get to record a gospel choir in a church or wherever will be one of the highlights of my production life, because that just took me to church, man. That was just like,
Take me to church.
oh, take me to church. Yeah. Oh, man. It was so good. I mean, I'm a massive fan of gospel music. And to have it in there, and so much soul was packed into that track, I was just like instantly like, that expression you have when you're listening to soul music, and it's just like,
I know exactly what you're trying to achieve.
yeah, exactly. So people won't be able to see me physically, but I'm doing this expression into the mic, and it's unreal soulful vibes. And I completely agree with Tom in that the vocal expression and the vocal control that she's got is outstanding. And every kind of phrase that she sung took me on that lyrical journey that she was going on. And that's something that I think listeners will get on board on, because music is emotional, and this song is packed full of it for me. And the lyrics, you said it as well, they're so deep, but they're beautiful, they're relatable, they're really direct as well, which I love. You get some lyrics where they go they walk around subjects and you have to kind of piece it together, but this is quite direct in its story. And it just, the way she delivers it vocally just breaks your heart. I think for me that's everything. The gospel choir sounded huge, but not in like a negative way, because you had that gospel power coming across, but you didn't have it swarming over her vocal as well. So that was a real cool balancing that's went on there, and a really nice production that's happened to balance those together, to make them work so well together, and to just create that soulful vibe, which is just oozing out of this track. And I've put down as well, I loved the kick and the snare, because when I tuned into them, they are like so present. But they're so nicely mixed in that when I tune back to the vocals, I'm not distracted by them. But see, like, they are there, like, adding so much of that rhythm, like, just like that. It's quite, it's like a low BPM, but it's a really nice kind of walking rhythm. And for me, they just had that punch. But yeah, it was not overstepping the vocals at all. So yeah, I'm just like fangirling over this track, man.
Oh, me too, mate. Fangirling hard right here.
Fangirling hard, April. But in terms of critique, maybe for me a tad less reverb on the vocal. It did sit really nice in the mix. Do not get me wrong, but I just maybe wanted her a wee bit ever so slightly forward in my ears, because she's got such a rich timbre, and reverb can sometimes dampen that ever so slightly. It really didn't in this track. Her timbre is still beautifully coming through, but again, even less reverb, maybe 5-10% less, would have just been hitting the nail on the head for me. And there was one slight peak in her vocal around 300-400 hertz, which now and again was just twanging me like, oh, I'd want to kind of notch that out or dynamic EQ that. But I mean, that is seriously picky. So that's it. That is all I got.
Yeah, it's amazing as well. Like you said it in the last track, like what different people hear.
Yeah, totally.
It really interests me. But yeah, I think fangirling hard will be the caption of this of this section.
We'll need to create a new hashtag Songwriters Lounge fangirling over April.
You'll come back next week. I'll have like the April shirt, a hat.
We'll have all her merch. We'll have been our own, and we'll just be wearing her merch. Class.
So yeah, it's a fantastic job, honestly.
So yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. It was a pleasure to listen to and review. So next up, we have. So where are we going? I think we're staying in the States, aren't we, Tom?
Yeah, Jessica. Next up she's from New York, I believe.
Class.
Hey, this is Jessica Lynn, and you're listening to my single, Now or Never.
But we have to be together, baby, we know better, and I'm gonna make you mine. And the way my heart is beating you have got me feeling that maybe any night is the night. So it's now or never, but not forever, putting all the chips on you. And if you say let's do it, I'ma hold you to it, I'll follow you wherever, but baby, it's now or never. We got one chance. Let's make it last. So it's now or never, betting on forever.
So that was obviously incredible. I love the guitar solo. Horns up for that. Yeah, I just love this. Again, like such a fun, feel-good song. And again, a little bit about Jessica. This is going to really impress you, Andy. So Jessica's performed with Brad Paisley, Keith Urban, ZZ Top,
Keith
and
Urban.
the Queen of Country Music, Loretta Lynn.
Oh,
So it's quite
country
a
royalty.
resume there. And
Yeah.
she's toured internationally for years. She's been on huge TV channels and stations. She's had songs in the top 40 of country radio, as well as charting in the top 10 on iTunes, which is pretty cool, really impressive. She's also an advocate for the military, the arts, animals, and she's a mentor for young women all over the world. So it's just an incredible role model, incredible woman, incredible musician. And this song is, you know, we say in the UK, when you hear a good song, you go, that is a tune.
Tune.
That's what we say in the UK. And that's, this song is a tune. Absolutely. As soon as you hear it, you're like, I was like, I want a drum for Jessica. I want a drum. It's a great song. One of those songs you listen to and think, you can imagine it in like a movie soundtrack. It would fit right in there with any kind of feel-good movie or comedy, you know, just something that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I think it beautifully showcases top quality performance, songwriting and production. Again, what I mean by performance is to get the kind of crispness and the clarity of the recording and the vocal and, you know, the guitar performance. You have to record it well and you have to perform it well into the mic, which is easier said than done. And it's something that can get overlooked a lot because producers have so many tools at their disposal these days. But you can tell in tracks like all three of our tracks today, the performance to get the song recorded has been absolutely second to none.
Yeah.
Incredible. Same with this song, like everything. I love the drum beat, especially love the production on the snare. It has that great smack that you want in a snare. And there's some verb on the snare rings right in the background there that just kind of nicely fill it out. And again, just emphasize that crunch of the snare that, you know, you want to hear in kind of a song like this. Straight away when the song kicks in, there's a guitar lead line that I love. Like, lead lines are so hard to write a good one, you know, especially on guitar, and they've just nailed it here. And it's a lovely, warm, crunchy guitar tone.
Yep, really nice.
Really nice guitar tone. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like a subtle glockenspiel in the background going along with the guitar lead. Yeah. It might be a glockenspiel, it might be something else, but if I can hear something in the background there that just adds the kind of the shine that they've just done beautifully. The vocal performance and the chorus melody, the whole melody, but especially the chorus melody, to add that kind of cool run, the vocal run, you know, it's now or never, bad enough forever, giving up my chance on you. It's just so nice. What a hook. And that is a hook. It pulls you straight in and you're like, ooh, what's coming next? And then everything kind of repeats and then she resolves it beautifully as well. It's one of those choruses you listen to and you just can't dislike it.
Yeah, it's radio ready, isn't it?
Oh, very much so. It'd fit in anywhere. Honestly, anyone would like this kind of song. And again, I just think it's very clever songwriting, very clever production to achieve it. And just very, very nicely done. It's one of those songs that you listen to a couple of times and you know all the words, which is, again, a compliment in itself. I think every songwriter and musician strives for that, but somehow they've nailed it, and I wish that they'd share the secret sauce because I'd love it on a couple of my own tracks.
HP sauce.
HP sauce. Yeah, extremely talented and clever songwriter all over. And yeah, there's a guitar solo, like I said before.
Oh, that guitar solo, man.
Bring the solos back. And another thing that I read about Jessica is a lot of her family are in the band. Like her mum sings backup vocals, her husband's the guitarist, so it's probably her husband's guitar solo. Her dad plays bass.
What? Shut up. It's like the Von Trapp family on tour.
Oh, that's better than the Von Trapps.
Yeah.
They have a guitar solo. The Von Trapps didn't have a guitar solo.
That's true. That's true. All they did was a cappella stuff, didn't they?
There's some lovely pedal steel in there as well, which is obviously a staple of country music, and that's the only thing I've written. I would love to have heard more of that, but again, it's personal taste because I love it so much, and they've sprinkled it in. Enough during the song. It kept me happy. You know, when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, they're going to go with this pedal steel," and they really did, and they absolutely rocked it. And again, it's just a personal songwriting decision that I would have done, just added some more of it in there, but everything's subjective. Nothing takes away from the quality of the track. As Andy said, I think this is one of the songs that could fit on any radio station around the world and would fit in. So again, just the songwriting is world class and really comes through.
Top notch. No, I absolutely agree. I see when it kind of faded out there and it just went to the kick and her singing. Da, 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 da. I could just imagine like you're at a festival. She's got like the band. She's got her family to stop playing, and it's just someone on kick, and she's like clapping her hands. Everyone's clapping along, and you just get that cool festival. Like that is a big crowd moment, like, and they've built the song I think maybe with that in mind, because she's obviously touring a lot and having some great success at it. So
that's what Queen did with "We Will Rock You."
Yes,
they wrote a song for the audience.
Exactly. So there's a theory here, and when bands do that, they do it for a really good reason, because the listeners and not just listeners in the headphones, but when you're listening at a festival, you want to feel like you're part of the song, and that's that kind of clapping moment there will really build up. I loved it. Overall, really upbeat, energetic country music vibes, really polished, strong commercial kind of vocal performance there, and a really easy one, I've said before, to slot right in the radio charts. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's got that kind of polished gleam over it all, which just screams, I'm a tune, as you've said. So it's it's just got that polish. I love. One of the key things I love is the guitar stabs in the verse, where it's like, it's like that
the palm
rhythm.
mutes, yeah.
Oh, I love that. That in itself just makes me go, I'm excited now. So yeah,
I get it. It builds the suspense, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It just adds that dynamic where like you kind of like can't help but move your head.
Yeah, totally. And you got that, like, it's a country song, but it's got that rock, like that's kind of rocky, isn't it? Like that's beat palm muties, so
it's like 80s hair metal kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. So love it. And I've put in particular, I love the way the toms were mixed. So I don't know about you, but I always find toms quite tough to mix myself, because I always want them really wide and really boomy. But then the wider I make them, you have to get a balance between them being wide enough for it to feel like the drums are, in front of you. But I feel like it's difficult because the toms and the frequencies and whatnot, they lend themselves better to being in the middle. But they've done this really nice balancing act where they've got that width just right for me. And they've got the tones of the toms just right as well. So the frequencies and the way they've balanced the spectrum on the toms, like as soon as I heard them come in, I was like, oh, they are mixed really well. So I love the toms, and yes, that guitar solo, unreal. So Jessica's dad smashed it. if it is her dad, we're just surmising, but
husband, I believe.
Husband. So I'm getting it wrong. I can't keep up. They're all, her family's in the band. So, but yeah, amazing guitar solo. Loved it. Love the harmonies in the vocal. So we said it in the, with the Eleni C, the first song. She's also got a lot of harmonies in her vocal here, and they're almost on every word, I think. But they're like really well mixed, so they're like just subtle, just underneath the lead vocal to kind of further saturate the melody that she's singing. Love that. And that's really kind of my kind of good points. If I'm trying to be super critical, I think for me, I loved the verse. That's like when I was just like, oh, I'm loving this track. And there was like a held instrument that kind of filled the space, which is nice. I did like it. But I thought the verse could have been more impactful if that was removed, and there was that natural, there was a bit more of the space if you removed that. So it was like, I don't know, it sounded to me like a kind of plucked string, a kind of long-held type synth or pad. I could be wrong, but there was something in there, if you listen back to it, that if that was taken out, her vocal and the guitars and everything would just be a bit more spacious. And that's pretty much it. I think the only other thing I've mentioned is I'd like to hear more of the acoustic guitars, but I could leave or take that. It's just again a little bit more for me would have been perfect, but that's it. Great tune, and one to definitely add to your country music road trip playlist.
It'll be in our playlist.
It'll be in our playlist.
Link in description if you want to hear the whole song. It's going straight in my basket.
Oh dear, yeah. So just a great tune. So thank you for sending it.
Fantastic.
And keep on writing stuff like that, and you'll be taking over, Keith Urban.